Hi, good morning. Welcome to Travel Marketing Townhall. I'm Sandra McLemore, and I am a travel marketing industry expert. I have had over 26 years of experience working in travel and tourism, and specifically in marketing and revenue. I've also coached over 42,000 travel agency owners, advisors, and agents just like you who want to get a consistent stream of new clients for your travel business, or perhaps you're getting the kind of clients that you don't really want to serve. So today, Travel Marketing Town Hall is a great event. I absolutely love it. We do it once a month. We are in, I think, our third season. And what I love about it is that you can send in questions. So we actually take questions from our All Access Pass members. If you don't know anything about All Access Pass, I can share a little at the end, but it is one of the benefits of membership. It's less than $350 every 6 months, and you get unlimited downloads from our content library, from all of the included materials. We show you a full list of over 4,800 items that will just save you tons of time so that you're not focused on creating content, because a lot of travel agency owners, agents, and advisors turn into marketing machines. And before you know it, you spent 3 hours in Canva, 2 hours on social media, and your day is gone. And none of those activities helped you to actually get new clients. So we took all the hard work out, made all the marketing materials for you, so that all you have to do is to match the materials to your sales goals. We have something called a commission calculator. If you are brand new here and you've never used it before, it is free. You just head over to travelmarketingandmedia.com/blueprint. I'm going to pop that up on the screen for you. Let me just grab the link, and you head on over to travelmarketingandmedia.com/blueprint. Use the free commission calculator. It's going to help you to figure out exactly what you want to sell. So the exact suppliers that you want to sell, you can pop in the commission rates that your host agency give you, or the ones that you've negotiated directly. And it will show you how many trips, how many bookings, or how many passengers or clients, depending on your choice, however you want to count them. Some people like to count them by bookings. Some people like to count them like per head, per person. And it will show you how many bookings or people that you need to send away in order to make your sales goals, or more importantly, your commission goals. I hear a lot of people out there talking about hitting $1 million in sales. $1 million is nothing. It is nothing. It's not that the number is wrong. $1 million is a lot of money. But what's more important is how much commission you actually make, and how much of that you have after your expenses. That's what's most important. I know people that sell $1 million worth of travel, but on an average of 8 to 10%, because of the things that they choose to sell, they're not really making a lot of money. I also know people who sell $1 million of things like river cruises at 20% or 18%. They're making a lot more money. You can do the math real quick. What's 18% of $1 million? And imagine the people who are on $5 or $10 million of sales selling high commissionable travel. So I'm going to go through today and answer your questions. And we decided to do a website theme this week because there's a lot of chat about website. We have a bunch of questions that we've pulled, current questions, old questions, that are all about your website. And I want to preface this by saying it doesn't matter if you have your own website, if you need a website, if you don't need a website, if you love your website. Today's session is really going to help you to tweak your website. And let's start by talking about the goal of your website. So I want you to imagine that somebody has said to you, here are the keys to a cafe or a shop. Let's say a shop, not a cafe. Let's say a shop. Here are the keys to a shop in a really great area of town. And it's near where you live, and lots of people hang out around here, and you get to sell anything in this shop that you want. So whether you're watching on the live or you're watching the replay, most people watch the replay, so don't feel like you're just on your own out there. I'm still here with you, even if you're on the replay. But in the chat, go ahead, or in the comments, go ahead and let me know, what kind of shop would you like it to be? If you're watching on our website, you just have to hover over the YouTube video, click on that. You won't miss a single second. It'll automatically kick you over to YouTube, where you can write in the comments. So go ahead and let me know in the comments, what kind of shop would it be? I low-key would love to have a chocolate shop, like the ones you see in Europe. I'd love to have a chocolate shop. I don't think I'd want a clothing store. Maybe a shoe store, not so much. It's not really my thing. I think I'd really like a home home decor store where I could put in decor from travels all around the world. It's one of like my pipe dreams. I have a family member who I adore. Her name is Violet. She's Anthony's first cousin's wife. So my cousin. And my cousin Violet wants to work in Pottery Barn when she's retired. She has 2 grown kids, both of them married. One of them just had a baby. And she's like, it would be my dream to work in Pottery Barn all day and just help people decorate their houses. My dream is similar to Violet's, but I want to own my own store on like a main street in a city, because we have a main street and we live in Los Angeles and we have a main street where we live. And I'd love to have a home decor store, but with things from all over the world that are legitimately handmade in those countries. Or at least made in those countries. They don't have to be handmade. So that would be the kind of store that I would have. What kind of store would you have? Let me know in the comments. It could be a food store. I love this. Somebody says in here, I would love to have a ceramics. Alana, hi Alana. She says, I'd love to have a ceramics and fine china store. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine how beautiful it would be. And I know you would meticulously pick out every piece. So whatever your store is, you get the keys to the store. Everything is in the store. You've laid it all out. You've made it look beautiful, but you have a problem now, or a challenge, I like to call it. Your challenge is going to be, how do I get people into this store? It would be all that mattered to you if you had a store. Trust me, if you had a store, you opened this Friday afternoon for a couple of hours, and this weekend was going to be your big first weekend. All that you care about is how many people come into your store, because you and I both know, even if I've never had a shop before, and I don't know if you have either, but we both know that if we don't have people coming to our store, if Alana doesn't have people coming to her ceramics and fine china store, if I don't have people coming to my home decor store, we're not going to make any sales. We know that the bills are due. We know that we're going to have rent, business insurance, all the things. And all we would care about is how many people come to our store. For some reason, and I don't know what it is, if you know the reason, please tell me in the comments, but for some reason, business owners who are online, service providers especially, as someone who provides a service instead of selling like an item or a good, for some reason, we do not have that same clarity in the number one goal being to get people to our store. And your store, in case you haven't clicked yet, is your website. So if you don't have that same sense of urgency, like I know that if Alana and I and all of you watching had your stores opening this weekend, in fact, today's Friday. So if your store was opening this afternoon, few hours, soft launch, and tomorrow was your first big day. Saturday, it's almost spring. It's going to be, is it spring already? Doesn't feel like spring. It feels like winter. So I'm going to call it winter. But you know that spring is around the corner. You know that you're going to have the most like magical possibilities. All you're going to care about is getting people to your store. But for some reason, when it's our website, we really don't think about it that way. We don't say to ourselves, my number one goal is to get people to my website. And you want to know a secret? After 26 years of travel industry experience working for tourism boards, travel companies, cruise lines, travel channel, programming, all the things, because my focus was always in marketing and revenue, my focus was always traffic. Traffic, because without traffic, you can't get sales. That's all there is to it. And it doesn't matter if it's my home decor store down on the main street or it's my website. Unless you have people going to both of those things, you are not going to get foot traffic. Foot traffic or mouse traffic is going to get you sales. So I have to ask you this question. How invested are you? How focused are you? How fixated are you in driving traffic to your website? Because quite honestly, it should be the only thing that any of us care about when it comes to marketing. Now, if you are looking for a good podcast episode, I'm going to ask Flora on my team, I know she's watching, to send me a WhatsApp message and let me know which episode it is. There is an episode, and then we're going to link it in the comments afterwards. There is an episode on our podcast that is called the 4x100 meter or 4x400 or 4x100 meter relay. And it's the relationship between sales and marketing. There's that episode. And then there's also an episode about whether or not you have a traffic conversion or a traffic problem or a conversion problem. There are 2 episodes. I'm looking for the one specifically that's the relay race. I think the thumbnail has like a baton on it and a track. So let me know what episode that is. I absolutely want you to listen to that episode of my podcast podcast. I'm going to link it. You can actually just listen to it right on YouTube, or you can head over to our website. It is literally the most important thing. And I don't understand why you don't pay more attention to getting traffic to your website. Oh my gosh, I love this comment. Michelle, I hope you don't mind if I share this. Michelle just put up a great comment in the chat, and she says, I was speaking to a realtor yesterday who said he used to spend tens of thousands of dollars on his website, but he couldn't compete with the big real estate agents, so he had to shut it down. Every realtor only cares about traffic. And I will tell you this from when we sold 2 homes last year. All our realtor cared about was foot traffic at the open house. Foot traffic at the open house. So the first number actually that she cared about was the number of people who had viewed the listing. She was always fixated on this. And I love Brenda. We will use her forever because she's so good. If you need a realtor in LA, let me know. And Brenda sold both our houses in a week. It took a little longer because we had tenants in one, but then once the tenants had moved out, she sold both the houses in a week, and we got well above asking price for them. So Brenda was always fixated on 2 things whenever she sold a house. She wanted the number of people who viewed the listing on Zillow to be super high. She listed it on lots of places, but Zillow was the most trafficked. The second thing that she wanted to do was she wanted to make sure that that number converted into people coming to the open house. If we only got 20 views in a week to the listing online, then we're not going to do really well at the open house. We're not going to get a lot of people, right? Because that's where people find out about open houses. And it got me thinking, like, maybe I'll do a podcast episode about this. If realtors are so fixated on the number of people who view a listing online, it's because they know that that number translates to the number of people who will come to the open house. And you know what she used to say to me? She used to say, Anthony and Sandra, we only need 1 buyer. Just 1. And you really could think that way too. I only need my next booking. My next booking. It's the only booking I need is my next booking, right? And so we knew, like, in 1 week, I remember she put up a listing and we had like 700 views of our listing. And then the other thing that we could see is how many people had saved our listing. And it was something like 200 people had saved our listing. Can I tell you that the open house was pure magic? It was absolutely magic. We had offers that weekend, and we had something that we didn't expect. We had people offer 2 buyers within the space of an hour ask to buy our house fully furnished and decorated. They literally wanted us just to take our clothes out. That's it. We ended up selling both the houses fully furnished and decorated. Bit sad when we went to move into our new house because we did not even have a Kleenex to sit on, let alone a piece of furniture. So it has to really make me wonder why we don't focus on that as much. And I have to tell you, I think the biggest distraction, there are 2 of them. One is social media. We focus so much time on social media. We feel like if we put up a post every day that we're going to do well. And the second thing is that we focus on word of mouth, because word of mouth works. But here's the problem with word of mouth. You don't have control over word of mouth. You don't know when your bookings are going to come in or if your bookings are going to come in. You know, at some stage, somebody's going to refer you to somebody, and you might have a really good run with it, but then it's not guaranteed that that's going to happen. So the 2 podcast episodes, the 1 podcast episode that 2 podcast episodes I want to show you, conveniently, they're episodes 19 and 20, and we'll pop that up into the chat comments on here. Flora, you can go ahead and pop those up into the comments. Put them into 1 comment, and then I will edit that afterwards so that we can pin it to the top. Those are the 2 episodes. Write those down, episodes 19 and 20. Okay, I'm going to jump into some of the questions that we have here about websites and answer them. I want to try and do a bit of a rapid fire so I can get through as many as possible. And if you have a question about websites or anything else, go ahead and pop them in the chat, and I will try and get to them towards the end. So I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to have a quick swig of coffee, and we are ready to go. Alrighty. Okay, first question. How often should I update my website, my travel business website? Weekly. And you might think, oh my gosh, that is a lot of work. Actually, it's not that difficult, and you can batch task this, which means you don't actually have to log in every week. So there's one particular thing on your website that you have to update weekly. You don't have to create new pages. You don't have to edit your copy on your homepage. You don't have to edit your about page or your contact page or any of your special niche pages, which we'll get to in a further along question. You just have to add one thing every week. A blog. Because here's the thing, Google knows when you're consistently adding content to your website, and adding a blog every single week, or jumping in and adding 10 blogs, but setting the time for them to release every single week, same day, same time every week. Do you know what that shows Google? That you're consistent. And a good, consistent business with really good content on their website, Google will prioritize you. So if someone's searching for a river cruise travel agent or a luxury travel agent, it is more likely that Google is going to, absolutely more likely that Google is going to prioritize your website over somebody else's, because they're like, well, here's this business regularly updating their content. I was looking for a bookkeeper. Actually, it has been the craziest experience this last week. We let go of our previous bookkeeper slash CPA. They're going to continue to do our taxes because they do a great job with our taxes. But we were looking for a different experience with our bookkeeping. And I had written down all of my criteria, kind of like when I was looking for my husband. I wrote down all of my criteria. One of the criteria that I had was that it was a modern bookkeeper that had a really solid dashboard that I could log into at any time, kind of like FreshBooks or Intuit or Xero, but I wanted them to do my books in this dashboard, my monthly bookkeeping. I don't need them to do my taxes, but I want to log in every month and look at this year compared to this month last year, or this quarter compared to last quarter, or see how I was tracking for the year. And my current bookkeeper only offers the ability to export PDFs, and I would have to open my profit and loss, my balance statements. I would have to open balance sheets. I would have to open everything and then compare them. And it wasn't the experience I was looking for. As many of you know, we have a new platform called Insightful, where you can look at your analytics of all of your marketing and you can compare year on year, this week to last week, like it's all visual. That's what I really want for my bookkeeping, so I can make more data-driven decisions. I also don't want a bunch of emails either going backwards and forwards, like which transaction is this? Do you know what this is? I want a place where I can just log in, and any transactions they're unsure about, I can update those. So I was looking and I found a bunch of websites. I found 60 different bookkeepers that I could, have a look into. 50 of them did not have any pricing on their website. Immediately, that bookkeeper has created more work for me. I'm looking for less work. I'm looking for an easier user experience. I'm absolutely not going to now reach out to 50 different bookkeepers to ask them their pricing. So that's actually a really good piece of advice. If you don't have your planning fees so that people know what it means to work with you and what it includes, and even a starting price or a range, please go ahead and put that on your website. I realized that I don't love starting prices. I prefer a range because I feel like I never qualify for that starting price, or it's just like a little bit of a bait to reel in a bigger fish. So I really did love the flat fees, and I also liked the from this to this range of pricing. But all you need to be doing every single week is uploading a new blog. One of the accountants that I found, bookkeepers that I found, I really like them, but they haven't put up a new blog since 2020. And that made me think, why aren't you consistent? And I know that some people wouldn't judge them based on that, but the two things came to mind. Number one, is this information old? Because it was very specific to taxes and numbers, and I just can't help but wonder, and I don't know because it's not my area of expertise, are you on top of things? Are you the most up to date? Number two, it made me wonder, is this important to you that you educate, inspire, train, give information? Because if so, it hasn't been important to you since 2020. And I didn't pursue it with them. I didn't pursue anyone who didn't have pricing. I didn't pursue anyone who didn't have a step process about what specifically the steps are to working with them. Like I wanted to know, step 1, fill in this form. Step 2, connect your accounts. Step 3, pay your first month fee. And step 4, we'll start within 48 hours reconciling your transactions, or whatever those steps were. I wanted to know that. So in this case, them not having an up-to-date blog or any up-to-date information made me wonder, are they still in business? Are they busy? Is this a part-time? That was the other thing I wondered. Is this a part-time business for somebody that they're too busy to update their blog? So just some food for thought there. Let me know your chat in there as well. Let me see. Next question, what should I include on my homepage to attract clients? Oh, that's a big question. Okay, so let me start by saying to you one of the things, and I'm going to check, let me just check and see. I do have a template that I can show you. It's the layout actually of our new website. I'm going to show it to you. The colors aren't loaded yet, but I'm going to show it to you. It's got colors in here. Let me just see. Are we almost done with the colors? If not, I'm just going to show it as it is, and it's not a problem at all because the colors are great. We're still picking images for it. So I would say that it's 98% complete, but let me just check what my team say or if they need a few more minutes. Okay, I'll go ahead and answer another question while we're waiting. Oh, she just needs 5 minutes. Okay, great. So I'll do a few more questions and I'm going to show you an example of a really basic website. It's just 2 pages. And one of the pages is your homepage so that I can answer this question for you, exactly what should go on your homepage. Okay, next question. Do I really need a blog if I post on social media? So posting on social media and having a blog are 2 completely separate things. That's like saying, do I really need a fork if I have a plate? It makes no sense. And I don't mean that you make no sense. I welcome any level of questions and any type of questions. So here's the thing. They do 2 very, very different things. Social media, the purpose of social media is to drive your traffic on social media to your website. That is the only purpose of social media. Nobody is going to book a trip on your social media platform. Nobody. The booking happens after somebody sees your website. People are not, for the most part, going to look at your social media and then reach out to you and then book a whole trip without seeing your website. It does happen sometimes, but it's not really that often if you're trying to book $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 trips, right? So a blog is a place, and you can call them articles, you can call them blogs, it doesn't matter. A blog is a place where people will go to get inspiration, but they'll also go to check your expertise. They're going to go and see what is it that you know about and how can that help me? If I had to choose between having social media and a blog, I would choose a blog every day of the week. In fact, for travel marketing and media, we don't even use social media. We might go back to it at some stage, but we don't use our Instagram anymore and we don't use our Facebook page, and we don't use them at all. We have a Facebook group, but that's more for you guys to talk to each other. So we don't even use social media. But boy, George, do we have a blog, and we have lots of topics and you can go in and read. And I feel like if you read our blogs, or we call them coaching articles on our website, you could call them travel articles, travel blogs. I don't love the term blog for you, because to me, a travel blog is more like 5 things I did when I went to Paris last month, as opposed to, and there's nothing wrong with that, as opposed to here are 5 things to do on your first visit to Paris, or here are 5 things to do on your next visit to Paris, or here are 5 things to do if you love history when in Paris, if you love history. It's an article, to me, is more like a piece of expertise that does a good job at proving that you are an expert and somebody that they should look into when they want to book their next trip. Whereas a blog, you really need to differentiate yourself from bloggers, because it could just be your own shared experiences, and people actually want to know less about your experience and more about what you can do for them. So do you need a blog, or so if you already post on social media? 2 completely different things. 2 completely different things. If you have to focus on one, focus on your blog and then layer social media in later. Next question, how many pages should a travel agency website have? You should have, my friend, a minimum of 2 pages. And I'm going to show you a website in a second that is a home page and a blog. They are the only 2 pages, a homepage and a blog, to put all your travel articles on. You literally can have a super successful business with just a 2-page website. We have a client who we built her 2-page website. I want to say it was in 2020. She hasn't changed it. Literally, she has added nothing. She has done part charters. She's done groups. She's doing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would say probably millions of dollars in sales, but I know she's actually making 6 figures. So I would say that she's paying herself 6 figures. Let me just be clear on that. Every month she pays herself payroll. And in 1 year, she's making at least 6 figures in her travel business for herself. We're not talking about bills or expenses. She only has a 2-page website. The one thing that she has done is she has added a blog every single week. For the most part, she's fallen off the wagon a bit, gotten back on again, because we're all just human. And so I would say that they are the 2 pages that you have to have: a homepage and a long scrolling homepage. But there's very specific information that has to go on your homepage, and I'll show you that in a second. The next question is, what's the easiest way to showcase my specialties or niche, like river cruising or luxury resorts? I don't want to book anything but that. So I would recommend that you add what's called a niche page. And a niche page could be a page all about river cruising. It could be a page all about all-inclusive resorts. It could be a page all about traveling with toddlers. It could be a page all about food tours. Whatever you want it to be about, you would have a very specific page where you can have images, you can have feature your blogs that are just about that. So say, for example, you sell river cruising, you could have your homepage, your blog, and then you could have just a river cruising page. So you could launch with your website with just 2 pages, a homepage and a blog. And then when you're ready, you can add a river cruising page. And that river cruising page can list the rivers of the world. It can have some information about river cruising. And depending on the platform you use, we use Wix for all of our clients. We've gone backwards and forwards between Wix and WordPress for the last 8 years. We have created over, I want to say 400 websites now. We're back at Wix. We always end up back at Wix because it's that good. You can actually filter on your river cruise niche page or your all-inclusive resort niche page. You can filter the blogs or the articles that are specific to just that page. So it might be about like what to expect on your first river cruise, how river cruising is different to ocean cruising, the most popular rivers in the world to cruise, which river to start with if you've never taken a river cruise, and how to pick the right ship. Those would be the blogs or the articles that would appear just on that niche page. If you have a niche page about golf travel, you could literally have articles on that page about golf travel. One of the articles that I would put, 2 things I can think of to mind: how do you incorporate golf into a trip without leaving the non-golfers out? Right? And then the second, my parents are both golfers, so they're both happy to play. But imagine if one person in a couple or one person in a family is a golfer and everybody else isn't. I think that's a great article to have. And then maybe you want to feature the 2025 top 25 golf courses around the world and why you should add them to your travel bucket list. That might be it there. Could be 10 trips for golf travelers for packing and traveling, flying with your golf equipment. Okay, so I would say a minimum of 2 pages. Let me just check. Okay, so next question I have. I like this comment here from Michelle in regards to why people don't really think about their website traffic as being their number one priority in the travel business. And she says, I wonder how many of us, she said, I definitely did before finding travel marketing and media, feel that way about not prioritizing it and feel like the website doesn't bring in clients and therefore no money. I love this thought because your website doesn't bring you traffic. And I think that a lot of people might think to themselves, I don't get any bookings from my website. But the actual way to reframe that is to say, your job is to bring traffic to your website, and your website's job is to convert them into bookings. So specifically what I mean by that is if you had, let's say, for example, Alana's fine china store that she wants to open in the main street, her ceramic store. The store itself, if it's got beautiful ceramics in it and it's a really nice vibe when you walk in, it will sell the ceramics itself. What's not going to happen just by having the store is getting the traffic to the store. Alana would have to go out and to do advertising and promotions. You might need to run ads in her local city saying, for example, new ceramic store opening on this date, grand opening, perfect for gift giving, perfect for this, new homes, whatever. She would have to run her ads or find a way to get the word out in the community. It could be in the local. We have a magazine in our community that goes to everybody's houses. I don't even know who pays for it. Obviously the advertisers. But it's obviously working because it's been running for like 10, 20 years. You could put an ad in that, for example, and everybody gets that local magazine. Your job as a business owner is to drive the foot traffic to the shop. If your website is strong enough, if your ceramics or what you have in the store are good enough, if your experience in the shop is good enough, it will naturally sell. There's a shop in my main street I want to tell you about. It's like a gift store. You can go in and buy anything from candles to pillow covers. The way she laid out the store, the way she color blocked the store, and I'm a massive fan of color blocking. My closet is color blocked. Does anyone else color block their closet? I don't think it's OCD. I think that people just throw that term around. I just think it's a form of being organized, and it's visually pleasing to some people, and I love it. I love the organization. This morning I knew I wanted to wear navy blue because I'm sitting on my white chair with my gray wall. These are all my brand colors. These are similar to my brand colors. I could go straight to my closet and find my navy blue section and pull out a sweater straight away. It's kind of cold outside. I wanted to do a V-neck, so I was able to quickly find everything that I was looking for. I wonder Sorry, I don't want to lost my train of thought. When I go into this gift store, the way that she has everything color blocked, the music that she plays, I really love it. It's like 80s rock ballads. So it's everything from Phil Collins to Foreigner. And I just love being in that. I think that's just the music that she likes, but I also think that she's smart in that because the age demographic of that area is probably mostly 40s and 50s. And so those of us who are in our 40s and 50s, I'm giving away my age, we grew up on 80s music. And so I love that she plays that. The way she has her store with the lighting, the music, the color blocking, just the way everything is laid out, the stuff sells itself. Obviously, she had to pick the right content, the right stuff to have in her store. But the experience, the minute I walk in, I know I'm going to buy something. What she has to focus on is getting people to go into that store. So I feel like, Michelle, that you're 100% right in your thought that, especially before you came to TMM, that anyone who doesn't feel like they get bookings from their site is probably one step too far ahead. And their thought should be more about, I don't get traffic to my site, and therefore I need to focus on getting traffic to my website. I think that that's a really good I think that's a really important differentiator to make there. Let me just see here. Rebecca says, aha moment, I didn't know it was possible in Wix. Niche pages are on my to-do list, and this is perfect for that. I just feel like your niche page is something that can come later. You can build out multiple niche pages. We have a consumer site that we're building right now that will be doing some of our group trips for our friends and family. And of course, I'm going to build out a full Egypt page for us to do an Egypt charter in 2026. It just makes sense. It also makes sense to do a river cruise niche page because no one in our friends and family, I think my parents, of course, and Carrie and John are friends because they are friends with the Murphy family who own Ama Waterways, co-own Ama Waterways. They've river cruised. It's pretty much it. None of Violet and Kenneth, our cousins, Anthony's cousins, have river cruise because they came with us on the Danube on one of our family and friends trips. No one else has river cruise, so I'm going to have to build out a niche page about river cruising for our friends and family to come cruise with us. Okay, so now let me go back and answer another question. Perfectly timed. How do I get more people to visit my website? In the same way that if you owned a store on the street front, you would get more people to come to your store. You have to promote your store. You have to promote your website. So whether that's, and there are free ways to promote, there are paid ways to promote. Go into ChatGPT and ask it. Let me do it right now. Hold on. I'm going to ask it. One of the things that I love doing is showing you guys how to do things. So let me go into chat. I have ChatGPT open. It's a brand new screen right here. This button over on this side here, the black circle with the white in there, if you click that, you can actually talk. So let me do this for you. I have a luxury travel agency, which is only online, and I would like to come up with an extensive list of ideas for promoting my business so that I can specifically drive more traffic to my website. I would like to separate between a list of paid items, paid actions, and non-paid actions. And I want to make sure that I attract luxury travelers who maybe haven't taken a river cruise before, but would be interested in river cruising because of the types of places they want to see or the destinations they want to have.
Great. Let's break down some effective strategies to promote your luxury travel agency and attract luxury travelers interested in river cruising. Paid actions, social media ads. Use targeted ads on platforms like Instagram and Facebook, focusing on affluent demographics. Google ads, bid on keywords related to luxury river cruising. Influencer collaborations who cater to luxury audiences. Sponsored content.
So it just goes on and on. I actually stopped, but what he has done, my ChatGPT, is also written everything out for me in a really long list here, paid versus not paid. So the paid actions, that he came up with, social media ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, focusing on affluent demographics, Google ads, influencer collaborations, sponsored content, came up with a massive list. But then what you can do is you can say, hey, tell me more about this. Where would I even start? What would that look like? I've never done this before. How would I do it? If you're not talking to ChatGPT like this, I highly recommend that you do. If you don't find it as easy to do what I do, which is speaking into it, you could always just type. But honestly, once you start speaking into it, you'll probably never go back. So to answer that question, pull out ChatGPT and ask it, this is the kind of travel agency that I run. Use the word travel agent because the world doesn't know the word travel advisor. This is the kind of travel agent that I am, the kind of travel agency that I run. Tell me, what are some free ways to get more traffic to my website? Or how about this? Here's a really good piece of coaching for you this morning. I have 20 minutes per day, or I have a 3-hour block every single week that I can focus on getting more traffic to my website, come up with some ideas, and then create me a schedule, do a table and make it go for 6 weeks and show me every week for 3 hours what I can do. Know that I'm starting from scratch and I currently have no traffic to my website. Y'all, is that not like amazing advice? Write that down if that's what you need to do. So you can either just ask for a strategy, or you could say, I only have 3 hours a week, or I have 1 hour a week to dedicate to this. Where do I start? Alrighty. Yes, it is. That is great advice. You don't have to know how to do everything. You have to know how to ask when you don't know how to do something. And that's all it comes down to. Alrighty, let me see if I can pull up another question for you. How are we going for time? Oh my gosh, so unhelpful when I put my watch upside down. 9:22. Okay, so we've got about 8 more minutes. Let me pull up and then I'll show you through. I will show you through. Oh, I lost all my questions. Oh no, here they are. I'll show you through a 2-page website, like just the homepage and the blog for you. Okay, let me see on here. Oh, okay. I got a website from my host agency. Can I make it feel more like me? I love that question. So the answer, unfortunately, is going to be, it depends on the ability that you have. And by ability, I mean 2 things, not necessarily your skill level. That's the second one. More, what are you allowed to do on your host agency website? My biggest advice is that you do not use your host agency website, is that you build your own. It allows you to be able to move host agencies at any time you want to. However, big respect for host agency contracts. I love host agencies, and there's a time and a place for everything. And I absolutely think that you should respect your contract, because you would be in breach otherwise. If your contract says that you have to book travel through the site they gave you, do that. But there's nothing stopping you in any host agency contract ever from having your own website. So it might be that you are Expedia Cruises, Rebecca Yancey Expedia Cruises, but then you also have RebeccaYancey.com or RebeccaYanceyTravel.com, where you would put your blog. That would just be the homepage and the blog if you just want a simple site, and you would build your email list there. Why? Because if you build your email list and have traffic coming to your website, it doesn't matter what happens if you change host agency. If you had to move your shop in the main street to a different location, having everybody's email addresses, you could email everybody out and say, hey, I'm moving from here to there. Now, you wouldn't tell your clients that you were moving host agency because they don't need to know. But imagine not being able to move host agencies if and when you needed to, because your host agency no longer met your needs, but you've got a website that's tied to them. So if you can make the changes on your host agency website, that's the question. How do you do it to make it more like you? You have your own brand colors, your own fonts. You focus on only the things that you want to sell. You don't allow content to be added for you, that you choose and curate what is on your website. But you're going to have to check with your host agency or the company that supplied your website to you, what exactly you can do. I would want to remove pages, add pages, make sure the layout goes a specific way. And the biggest advice I can ask you if you're still using your host agency website is who has access to people who sign up for your email list or send you messages or fill out your contact form, because that should be just for you. I would hate for your host agency or consortia to also be marketing to them directly. Okay. What can I do if I cannot add new pages to my host provided website? You need to have your own website, my friend. Okay. Is it worth having I've kind of answered this. Is it worth having a second website that I can control? Yes. Just make sure that you honor your host agency contract by not booking travel on that site, that you literally only use it to build your email list. Can I just keep my host agency website and build a landing page elsewhere? Yeah, essentially that's what I'm saying. A second website that's just a homepage and a blog that allows you to be able to collect email addresses and send an email out every week or every other week, just to focus on growing that traffic. Okay, let me see. Grab a couple more questions and see. Are we ready that I can do a quick little look around? If not, I can just do it with the existing colors that are on there. Okay. What are the top mistakes travel agents make with their websites? The number one would be that their website does the content on their website and the look of the website doesn't align with the type of travelers they're trying to get or the type of bookings they're trying to make. So if you are selling $5,000, $10,000 cruises or resort stays for a week, if your basic chart, like cost per traveler per week, is a 3,000 to 5,000 or 5,000 to 10,000, that's the equivalent of what somebody spends on a designer purse, like on a Louis Vuitton, a Gucci purse, a Chanel purse, right? When you walk into those stores give you an experience. They look polished, they look professional. Like, who has been into an espresso store? Even Nespresso looks fancy. And that's basically just dressed up Nescafe, right? So the biggest mistake that I see, number one mistake, is that your website doesn't look like a Chanel store or an espresso store, that your website looks like a Dollar General. Oh my gosh, that sounds really mean. But you asked me the question. Your website can't look like Dollar General. It can't have loads of colors, too much content, too much stock, no spacing, white space. You cannot have a website that looks Dollar General. You've got to have a website that looks Nespresso or that looks Gucci or that looks like a trusted, tailored, clean brand. Like when you go to the Hilton website, loads of white space, super polished, super clean, not loads of colors. They just have one brand color. It's just blue and white. That's it. You know what I mean? Okay. Let me see. Okay, ready. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm just going to refresh it real quick. I'm going to come off the camera. And then while I'm doing this, go ahead and write me. Oh, no, you can wait till the end. I was going to say your next, your biggest aha moment. One second. Okay. I am going to share my website with you. Hold on one second. You have no audio, and that's okay. Present. Share screen. This is why it's really, really good when you do a live to have your team on with you. So that, okay, perfect. I'm right there. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you have audio now, but let me just check. My team will message me to let me know. Do we have audio? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes and yes. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, all good. Great. Let me go back to this. I'm actually going to take myself off the screen for now so that you can really focus. Okay, so this is a 2-page website. So what I want to do is I want to show you through this so that you can get those suggestions without me critiquing everybody's website. Okay, so let me do this. I cannot see your comments right now, but I can see notes from my team. So if something technical happens, they'll let me know. And we'll take like about 3 or 4 minutes to do this, and then I will let you go. So let me just close down this little button here. Okay, so this is, in my opinion, the most perfect 2-page website that you can have. This is actually our new product called Fresh Start. So if you need a fresh start because you hate the website you have, or if you're just starting out fresh in the industry, this is what I recommend for you. It's our most affordable website. It is literally under $1,500, and we purchase all the images you need and we write all of your copy for you. We literally do the entire thing and it gets done in a matter of days, like 3 to 5 days. Okay, so Experience Africa, probably 5 days. Experience Africa. So we just made up a business here called Experience Africa. So then this is what I recommend for you. I recommend not having a menu at the top. If you need to have a little hamburger thing at the top because you feel like your clients need that, then go ahead and do it. But honestly, I studied under Donald Miller, one of the best marketers in the world. And I've been doing this now, not having a menu on our website for 4 or 5. No, actually, I can tell you when we did it. Houston was 12 weeks old when I took him to this conference because I was already booked and paid. And he came super early. So I took Houston. Houston's 5.5 now. So we've been doing this now for 5 years, and we took away the menu. Business name in the top left, button in the top right for them to plan a trip. In here, I want to know immediately on your homepage exactly what you do without scrolling. Your adventure awaits in Africa. Experience the richness of Africa without the stress of planning. I know that you know exactly what this travel business does. Okay, custom itineraries, exclusive cultural experiences, local experts, and seamless travel. These are your value propositions. These are the things that people should value the most about your business. In here, very, very, very clear text. Let me read this to you. Explore Africa authentically. Experience the true essence of Africa with personalized itineraries that let you immerse in vibrant cultures while we handle all the details. Planning a trip to Africa can be overwhelming, especially for adventurous women ready to explore, but unsure of where to start. At Experience Africa, we take the stress out of travel planning with personalized itineraries and hand-picked accommodations to fit your interests. With years of expertise and strong local partnerships, we ensure your journey is safe, enriching, and full of unique cultural insights. Imagine embarking on a hassle-free adventure surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and vibrant cultures where every detail is tailored to curate unforgettable moments. Experience Africa is your perfect first step to making your dream adventure a reality. The only thing that I would change is I would probably take out the word safe. But we're still working on the site, like I said. And we're doing our final little tweaks this week. Here is a place where people can log in, people can join your email list. I love this. The only thing that we'll add on here, remember, work in progress, is first and last name. When you end up with a lot of Michelles, you're probably not going to get a lot of Tabithas, but you might get a lot of Michelles on your website. You want to be able to know people's last name as well. So here, just a simple download the essential checklist, or you could just have it in here that it's just join our email list to get inspired by our itineraries. So here, these are your value propositions. We just expand on them here. So you remember these 3 things from the very top up on here. We just explain them out a little bit in here. So that's super important just there. And then it's really beautiful imagery in here. The steps. This is something I think is really critical to go on your homepage. These are the steps to working with you. So number 1, schedule a free consultation. Number 2, choose your itinerary. Number 3, confirm your trip. Personally, I wouldn't offer free consultations. I would do a planning meeting. So schedule your planning meeting. Number 1 for me would be to have a quick, to schedule a free quick hello 15-minute chat to see if we're the right fit for you. Number 2 would be to pay our flat rate planning fee and schedule a planning meeting. Number 3, choose your itinerary from the ones we select. Number 4, confirm your trip and start packing. Something simple like that, but however it works for your business. A little bit more information about planning your trip here. So this is for adventurous women who are ready to explore Africa. You could mention more at the very, very top up there that it's for women in their 50s who want to explore Africa, or women, solo travelers, or groups of women. Great images that really match. Like we have a Nubian village here, we have some African food, and we have some animals. Like this straight away makes you feel like you're in exactly the right space. I would definitely probably Not definitely, probably. I would definitely add some destinations on here that you can book to. You might just do like a little paragraph on each in here. And these are easy for you to be able to add more. We show you how to do that, or you can book an hour with our designer and they can do it live for you. And then this is Flora from our team pretending to be Lena, the travel agent, travel advisor, a little bit about her. Down here is with a professional photo for sure. Down here, and if you don't have one, AI a photo of yourself. Down here, I love this. These are like how many travelers you sent away. Maybe you haven't sent a lot of the travelers, but you might have like 200 suppliers that you have access to. So you could put 200 travel partners, 5 years of customer service experience. Maybe you've just joined the travel industry and you can list out maybe operations experience, logistics experience, customer service experience that are relevant. We love putting in here the destinations. These don't click to anywhere because it's just a one-page website. But as you start building out your blogs, these could particularly click through to a blog about South Africa and have more blogs underneath that. Some more images. I love this, being able to schedule a call with you directly. This is Calendly, but you can do this in Wix bookings or Calendly. And then people could literally be able to pick right here, go through to next, type in the information, and straight away you've got a call scheduled right there. This is coming from your blog. It's pulling from the second page in your website, which is your blog, because there's only 2 pages on this website. And in here, you could put whatever specific featured blogs that you want to have. And these blogs should speak to people who are visiting your website for the very first time. Some testimonials in here. You can put in any testimonials that you have there. And that's it. That's it. That's all there is to it, to a 2-page website, right? This is the kind of website that I would recommend that every single travel advisor have it professionally developed. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see if you have any questions. Professionally developed, have the copy written for you, have the images purchased for you. Let me put myself back on the screen. And I think that that's just honestly the best way forward for you, because people can tell the difference between a DIY website and a professionally developed one. So let me take any last questions that I can have in here, and I'll just answer 2 more questions. But in the meantime, my suggestion to you would be, in the meantime, go ahead and write me your aha moment. What is your biggest takeaway from today's coaching call? What is your biggest takeaway? What did you hear today that you're like, that's what I'm going to focus on? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Tabitha's question. I'd love to answer your question. It says, I believe you've mentioned in the past that if you don't have clients complete a trip inquire form right out the gate. When do you recommend having this? Never, because as a luxury traveler, I am not filling in your form. And I know, and I've asked all my friends this as well, my parents, family members, nobody wants to fill in an intake form because it is highly impersonal and it takes time. It's like me looking for a bookkeeper. I don't know if you're on the beginning of the call and you heard me talking about a bookkeeper this week. It doesn't give me any sense of accomplishment to sit down, dedicate the time to finding a service provider, and then you making me fill in a form and then waiting on it. I don't expect to get all of the answers I want immediately, but luxury travelers or people looking for professional services, they want an outcome. They want an accomplishment for the time they just invested. So an accomplishment to me, for example, could be just setting up a 15-minute call with you. I would rather jump on a quick 5-minute call, 10-minute call, or a 15-minute call that I can book immediately on your website. That could be for today or for tomorrow, because then I feel like I can check that off my list, right? If I can book a call with you, I can check that off my list. I'm even happier if you've listed out your service fees on your website. That would make me even happier. But if you haven't, that's okay. At least let me be able to book a call. Filling in a long form, I don't know where we go from there. I don't know why I have to tell you my budget when I've never met you before. You've never given me any time and I've got to tell you how much I want to spend. What if I don't feel comfortable doing that? What if I don't know you? I feel like an intake form is such an impersonal way to sell travel. I'm not for it. If you are for it and you love it, that's totally fine. But as your business coach, if you're asking me, I would say to get rid of the intake forms. You don't need them. If you're offering a service, you're making people fill in a form for you. That's something you should be doing. You should be taking notes. Try offering a 10-minute call. A 10-minute quick hello call where you ask the right questions. And the right question might just be, tell me about the trip you have in mind. And I'll say, we're going to South Africa. We have our flights booked, but we want hotels, we want tours, we want a river cruise in Africa, we want a safari. These are the dates that we booked our flights, or this is when we're thinking of going. And then you get to say, great, that is actually my area of expertise. I charge a $350 planning fee. I'll plan and book everything for you. You'll get lots of options, choices. We'll do everything to fit in your budget. I'll prepare all the paperwork. I'll add everything to your calendar. I'll send you calendar invites. Oh, by the way, if that's not a service that you're offering, I know the itinerary is something. I know that getting your guests to use an app is one thing. I love having things added to my calendar. If my travel advisor, travel agent added things to my calendar, that would be way better, because that's what I work on, a digital calendar. Put my day tour there, put my shore excursion in my calendar, like just send me an invite on my calendar. But I think that this feedback is going to be really hard for some of you to hear about the intake forms. I just don't want to fill in an intake form. We have our car lease coming to an end, and we are thinking to purchase a new car. I'm not going to go to a dealership, a luxury dealership, and fill in a form so that someone can contact me back when they're ready. Because guess what happens in the world? Half the time, nobody contacts you back. And even though you know that you're going to contact people back, they don't know it. I want to call the dealership, speak to someone immediately, or request a call back, or set up a time to speak to the dealership. That's how I want to do it. Okay, so I want to put up some of... Tabitha says, I've been having them complete a long list of questions at the time they schedule a complimentary consultation. That's a lot of work, considering that you provide a luxury service, and it's not a basic needs service. It's a luxury service that you provide. I would want that work to come from you. I would want you to ask me those questions, and I can give you that feedback. But Tabitha, I might be your business coach, but I'm not the most important voice in your head. Ask some friends and family who are luxury travelers, or if you're a luxury traveler, ask yourself, what would you prefer in that experience? This whole week of looking for a new bookkeeper has truly been eye-opening for me, because I'm really frustrated looking for a service provider that out of 60 websites, only 10 of them were what I was looking for, because half of them don't have the right information or updated information. Some of them are asking me to fill in booking forms. Some of them are asking like client intake forms. And I'm like, no, I just want to know if we're a match. And I can't help but think that this experience popped up for me this week to share with you for a reason. Okay, let's do some aha moments to wrap out this coaching call. So TM Nance, aha moment, creating my own website out of my host agency. Less is more. Absolutely. Next one, that I should be blogging once a week. I don't recommend writing a blog once a week. I recommend batch creating, like maybe 13 at a time. That's an entire quarter. Q2 is about to start. So go ahead and just do your 13 blogs in one day. ChatGPT can help you, or you can purchase the all access pass from us, and you can just grab them, reword them if you want to, or just plug them in and use them right away. But I love that weekly content. Michelle says, I love the idea of niche pages. Yes, ma'am. Tabitha says, I love this feedback. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. How do you do that? How do I do what? Oh, I'm not sure. Someone says, I love that, you rock. Okay, the calendar edition part, just send them a meeting invite. I mean, the only thing is it will show on your, it'll show in your calendar as well. So you might want to use a second email address. Maybe you have clientcalendar@tabithastravel.com. So it's a second email address, and that calendar doesn't matter because it's not the calendar you follow. But from that calendar, you could send somebody, you could send me like Sandra@travelmarketingandmedia.com. You could say, send me a tour, like a meeting invite for my safari next Wednesday in Cape Town. And you would send it from that email address, because then, like I said, it wouldn't populate in your own calendar. That calendar will end up looking crazy, but it doesn't matter. It'll only look crazy on your end, and they just get to accept it in their calendar. I just feel like nobody offers this, and it would be so good. Like the airline offers you the option to add flights to calendar. Why do we make people download an app and then flip out of something when we know that their phone has a calendar on it? And how great would it be to pop up a reminder like, this is next on your calendar? I don't know. Just some food for thought. I was just thinking it there. Jordan, Executive Travel. Oh, is that Eva or Sam? Haven't seen you on my stuff for a little while. I love having you back if that's you. There's an agent that sends her client calendar invites for final payment. It adds the final payment to their calendar. Oh, 100%. 100%. We do that now. It's part of our new service for our website clients. If you're just about to start your website, we have a few people who are starting next week. They get a calendar invite for the day that their changes are due, the day that their final payments due. No, not final payment. It's the day their feedback is due. And then we have one-on-one calls with them. So that goes into their calendar as well. It's so important. Tabitha says, the calendar and my intake forms are my aha moment. Yeah, I think, Tabitha, your takeaway today is more about your user experience and maybe thinking about the experience that I've had looking for a bookkeeper, and I'm not even spending that much money on a bookkeeper. I'm spending a couple $100s a month. Imagine someone who's spending $10,000 on travel with you. You really want that experience to be clear. Michelle says, thanks, Eva. I think that's Eva. Thanks, Eva, to do a calendar invite for final payment. It's so smart. And it shows in both y'all's calendars, right? Exemplary travel advisors. Ooh, that's kind of amazing. And on that note, oh no, I'll end with Alana. I started with Alana, I'll end with Alana. Alana says, love that, going to implement adding payment to the calendar invite. I have gone over time. I was only meant to be here for 45 minutes and we have been here for an hour and 1 minute. Oh, Margie. Margie goes, I love Eva, but it's Margie because Jordan. I got thrown by Jordan. Can I just say thank you so much for joining me on today's coaching call. Please share this coaching call with your travel advisor friends. If you have like a group or something that you are in, feel free to go to, and I'm just going to put the link up because I would love your help. You always ask me like, how can we help you? Your recommendations and referrals are honestly the most important to me, but tell them to go to Travel Marketing Townhall, travelmarketingandmedia.com/townhall. You can literally just share this link in a Facebook group full of travel advisors or in a text message or a DM. These calls are so helpful. If you got this from this call, if you got these takeaways just from this call, how helpful is that, right? So go ahead and share. Sharing is caring. Love you guys. I'll see you next month on the coaching call, unless you have marketing masterclass on the river call coming up because you were part of that group. We have April, May, and June calls coming up. But otherwise, I will see you all next month in Travel Marketing Town Hall. If you want to save the date for the next town hall, go ahead and do that. I'll give you the link now. It's really easy. You just go to either events page or you can go to the town hall page. I would say go to events. That's the best way to do it because then you can add it to calendar. And that's what we learned today. Add to calendar is super important. Okay, everybody, that's all for me. I'm about to go walk 3.5 miles with my girl, Brittany, so we can chat about tons of things and get some exercise in. I'll see you next month for Travel Marketing Town Hall. Bye for now.